All right, most times the power and the base of indices might be in the decimal form. And what we'll do is just to convert the decimal to fraction before we start what? Solving. So this is simply the decimal power and the base. So example 1 said we should evaluate a 0.008 to the power of what? 1 over 3. So remember, step 1, convert the fraction to decimal. And the knowledge of standard form will be of great help here. So I believe we must have done standard form before we visit indices. That's the first thing. In Jesus 1, we must have done this. So we now have solution. So we have that 0.008 to the power of what? 1 over 3. Let's convert this decimal to fraction. Using the standard form, we now have that 0.08 will go 1, 2, 3. So this is equal to 8 times 10 raised to the power of what? Minus 3. Or to this fraction. Now, we will now apply the negative index. Remember what I told you in the last video? Whenever I have this negative sign, just convert. Apply the negative index to it. So we will now have 8 times 1 over 10 to the power of 3. Then all to the power of what? 1 over 3. So here we will now have that 8 times 1 is equal to 8. So all over what? 1000. Then all 1 over 3. Have you seen that we've converted this decimal to fraction? But we use two things, the knowledge of our standard form and the knowledge of the what? Negative index. These two things helped us. So we now have 8 over 1000 or 1 over 3. So now, what is the next rule that we're going to apply? Let's wait a bit. Anybody with the answer? All right. This is the what? The root power, because a fraction there is the index. So we'll now have the cube root of 8 over what? 1000. Cube root of 8 over 1000. So which number am I going to raise to the power of 3 to obtain 8? That is 2. And which number am I going to raise to the power of 3 to obtain 1000? That's 10. Because 10 times 10 times 10, that is 10 times 10 is 100, sorry. Then 100 by 10 again will now give us 1000. So we'll now have that the cube root of 8 is equal to what? 2, and the cube root of 1000 is 3. So our answer is what? 2 over 3. So it is quite easy. Just convert the decimal to fraction and then solve, apply the laws of indices. Okay, I believe we can wipe this one out at this point in time. Right. So the second one now, B, is 0.25 to the power of what? Minus 2. So in this case now, we still convert the decimal to fraction by applying the standard form. So we move 1, 2. So this will give us 25 times 10 to the power of minus 2, all divided by, sorry, not yet. Let's just stop here. Then all to the power of what? Negative 2. So now, I know we can apply the law of negative index here as a whole because I have minus 2. But mathematics is just find a way that will be easier for you. You can do it that way, but mathematics is all about finding the easiest step that will help us out. So for this guy, I believe that this 25 times 10 to the power minus 2 should be what? Simplified first so that the whole thing will be easier for us. So we now have applying the law of negative index to the 10 to the power minus 2. We will now obtain 25 times 1 all over what? 10 to the power what? 2. We just apply the laws of indices, which you know, negative index. So all to the power of what? Of minus 2. So this will give us 25 all over 10 to the power 2 is simply 100. So 100 negative 2. Now, as it stands now, we can now apply the law of negative index to this very what? Bracket now. So when we apply the law of negative index, we will now obtain 1 all over 25 to the power of 100 all squared. I believe it's not confusing. So that's what we're going to what? Obtain here. So we can go further to reduce to the lowest term, so it will be easier for us. So now, or let me do it this way. Before I apply the law of negative index, let me reduce these guys to the lowest term. So 5 can go here to give us 5. 5 into 10 will give us 2, so this is 20. So we now have 5 over 20 to the power of minus 2. We can still reduce further. 5 can go here to give us 1, 5 here can give us 4. So we now have 1 over 4 to the power of what? Minus 2. So this simply implies that we have 1 all over 1 over 4 to the power of what? 2, which we can simplify. So this is equal to 1 all over, we now have 1 squared over 4 squared. We can distribute it. Hope it's not confusing. So let me wipe this side. I believe it's not confusing. So we now obtain 1 all over 1 over what? Over 8. So to make this easier, we can now say, when it is, you can ask questions, just drop your comment if you don't understand what we just did. So we now have 1 divided by 1 over 8. So this is 1 times 8 over 1. Because in fractions, when you have division, you just multiply and take the reciprocal of the divisor. So this is equal to what? 8. So this is our answer. So just remember, apply the laws of indices and know your normal mathematics, just the normal arithmetics, just like what I did here. So that is also our number 2. So let's now consider the third one. Should I give us little time to assimilate? So that was it. That was the steps we took. So let's go straight to the last question that we'll have over there. So the last one, we'll have 32 all over 0.2. 32 raised power of what? 0.2. So in this case now, the index or the power is now a decimal. We as well convert that very index to what? To fraction. So we now have 32. Apply your standard form. We'll move ones. So we now have 2 times 10 to the power of 1. Just concentrate on the index because the base is the normal number. It's in the ordinary form. It's just a whole number. But our index is a decimal. So we just have to work on our power at this point in time. So we now have 32 to the power of what? 2 times 1 over 10 raised power 1. So we now have that 32 is equal to 2 to the power of 10. Hope we are okay. This is 2 to the power of what? Of 10. So we can now apply our what? Not product power. We can now apply the fractional power. We have 2 over 10. Take the root of 10, 32, all to the power of 2. So if we have a calculator, we can punch this and write the final answer. So this is just what we have to do for decimal, power, and base. So when you have your decimal as the power or as the base, just apply your standard form and change the decimal to fraction, and then you now solve and get your final answer. So that is just the step for this. Thank you for watching this video. We can take further examples of this, but don't forget to hit the red button, that's the subscribe button, and like our videos. Okay, you can also share to your friends as we dive into indices.